From New York to Los Angeles, hate crimes are on the rise in major American cities. In 2022, preliminary police data from at least 6 metropolitan areas recorded levels not seen since the 1990s. That's according to a new report by the Center for the Study of Hate and Extremism at California State University, San Bernardino. The U.S. is no stranger to domestic hate or terror groups. Neither is Michigan. In fact, just recently, members of the Bungaloo movement were convicted of plotting to kidnap and kill the governor. But they aren't the only extremist group sparking concern. According to the Southern Poverty Law Center, there are currently 733 active hate groups and 488 active anti-government groups across the country. One of those groups is Patriot Front, whose members have been recorded on video at rallies in 31 states and Washington, D.C. Some of those events have been extremely high profile, including the 2022 March for Life rallies in Washington, D.C., Boston, and Chicago. 31 members of Patriot Front were also arrested in Boise last June after threatening a pride celebration. But newly obtained video by Local 4 is revealing the future of hate here in our state. Our Grant Herms has the video, and he joins us to explain how Patriot Front is operating in Metro Detroit and where their message of hate is popping up within the community. Grant?
Well, good evening. Hateful imagery is and should be disturbing to everyone, but in order to tell this story properly, we felt it was important to show you unfiltered how this group is making their presence known in our community. So we want to warn you that you will see some of that disturbing imagery in this report.
To think we will lay down and perish, you are gravely mistaken.
Hate, once again, making itself known in Michigan, this time from the group Patriot Front, singing Blood and Soil, a neo-Nazi anthem.
Our race can be erased, for ours is blood and soil.
In another set of videos, the members, clad in their uniforms of khaki pants, navy blue shirts, and white masks, spray white paint over graffiti and a mural of a Native American man, this time in Detroit's Lincoln Art Park.
Pretty sure this is something Native American related.
I think it is. And it's satanic.
After covering the mural, they paint on a stencil. Not stolen, conquered. The never-before-aired footage was released by the group Unicorn Riot, which leaked tens of thousands of images, videos, and documented chats from the white nationalist group.
That was good placement.
And so-called activism in Detroit, Ferndale, and Sterling Heights.
We see a Star of David. I don't care how high risk it is. We're covering that up.
Yes.
2021. There were more than 163 incidents of white supremacy propaganda reported to our office. And of those 163 incidents, 138 of them were from Patriot Front. It's a big problem.
The Anti-Defamation League of Michigan has been closely watching Patriot Front's activity in Michigan since these videos surfaced online.
It's got several hundred members across the country. And when you say several hundred, that doesn't seem like a lot of people. But when you think about what they're trying to do, they're trying to propagandize and espouse racism and anti-Semitism and intolerance. And so it doesn't take very many people. It just takes some dedicated individuals.
You will not replace us.
The white supremacist group was founded in 2017 after neo-Nazis marched through the streets of Charlottesville, Virginia. The group focused on making their rhetoric more palatable to the American public, often using mainstream language like America First or United We Stand.
They sort of co-opt the idea, again, wrapping themselves in the American flag and using this language that is sort of an insidious kind of undercurrent.
Former U.S. Attorney Matthew Schneider says the FBI watches groups like this, like they watch the mafia, drug cartels, and motorcycle gangs.
I can guarantee you the Justice Department is looking at extremism in all of its forms, and this is certainly one of those groups.
And for hate watch organizations like the ADL, the fear goes beyond what's simply illegal. It's about what's become normal.
That has become commonized. And I think what we've seen in the last several years is this idea that it's okay, but make no mistake, the idea of patriotic or patriot nationalism is really a white supremacist ideology, and reclaiming America as a white nation is white supremacy, pure and simple.
Now, we did try to talk to someone with the Attorney General's Hate Crimes Unit and the Attorney General herself about this new trove of videos. We were told no one from the AG's office was available to talk. The FBI said they were aware of the group but didn't want to speak about specifics, nor would they talk about any ongoing investigations. A spokesperson for the Detroit office of the FBI made it clear there's nothing inherently illegal about being a member of a hate group either. Still will all these images and videos very disturbing. This is just the stuff that we could show you, and there has been some recently as well. I saw one of those banner signs on the highway about a mile from the state's Holocaust Museum just at the end of last year.
Wow, really enlightening report and disturbing, as you mentioned.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.